What is going on, guys? This is your boy HQ420. Welcome y'all back. Another episode, Showtime with the Cube. As always, I've got the powerful one with me, Corey Hughes. Corey, tonight, are you doing well?
You know how I'm doing? I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel I am. I'm doing. I'm vindicated. That's how I'm doing. I feel vindicated because if I'm not mistaken, I thought that I wanted to watch this movie like back 6 months ago when it came out, and it got. I don't know. Maybe I got mocked or laughed at or something along those lines. I don't recall, but my feelings were possibly hurt in that process.
I don't remember mocking. Okay, I mean, I'm just letting you know, I don't remember mocking at all. Here's what may have happened. I may have been like, I don't think I can go to the theater and watch it. I mean, that might have been it. That's probably what we had going down. But it did come around to me. We're going to cover Thanksgiving today, and no, not the holiday per se, but the movie slasher film. And I would probably say that it keeps with the normal tropes of a slasher film. Think you say that, Corey?
100%, and that's
Yeah.
what gave it. Here's the thing: this movie was absolutely nothing special, and that's what made it special. This is like This is like the new trope. This is my new trope, right? This is like everything I asked for. I'm getting seemingly
like the beekeeper,
Yep. Nobody's wanting to do some save the universe stuff. It's all it's small scale. My local neighborhood slasher. Right. And it is just as hollow as I Know What You Did Last Summer or Scream. Scream, there's like 8-9 killers at this point. It's like,
dude, it's an entire family, if I'm correct. I think
my brother's uncle's roommate's stepkid's neighbor got his feelings hurt, so I had to avenge him. That's where Scream's coming from. But I like this about this. There was no reinventing the wheel here. You have a typical, I'll call it like a, what is it, like a 12 Little Indians kind of plot.
Yeah.
Right. And so somebody in the inner circle is the guilty one. You don't know who, you don't know why, but they got a motive.
There's a couple context clues that kind of
yes, but
it kind of hones in on you, like, but you kind of eliminate who it could be just by pure size, the size of the person.
Yes, 100%. That was a concern of mine right from the beginning. It most certainly was not some big fat fuck who was behind that mask. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Guys, if it's your first time to this channel, hit the subscribe button. You watch us on YouTube, hit that follow button. You can listen to us on podcast platforms. Appreciate everybody for checking us out so far. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. This one starts out a little bit differently. I will say that as far as this particular film. Now, we do start out on Thanksgiving Day, but we're going kind of old school with the way that Black Friday used to be. So let's just talk about Black Friday a little bit. Since the invention of the internet and Amazon and people shopping online, Black Friday has kind of lost its luster. Could you say that?
Yes, and let me give you my particular context. So, in the days of my youth, I worked at the mall starting around 1998, and I worked at the mall till around 2004, 5, something like that, a year or so before I went off to become a cop. So I spent many a year in the mall. So Black Friday was held very close to my heart. Whether it was I was at Tape World, Camelot Music, EB Games, KB Toys, the little stupid sunglass cart, Spencer Gifts.
You were all those places?
Yep. This is over like a 5-year period, right? I was at Spencer Gifts, and then culminated with I was a store manager of a cell phone cart in the mall. So, yes.
Yeah, guys, did y'all hear that? Store manager of a cell phone cart.
Yes.
I mean oh man, hey! Every time I see those little carts in the mall, I'm just like, boy, some people live it's a depressing life right there. You see them, and it's just like,
there is a whole mall culture like Mallrats came close to exposing it.
Right.
But it's just like that. Like, I'll never forget. It was some of the, honestly, there's a little part of heaven when you die that you can go and relive that part of my life. I'm telling you,
You go. There you go.
It was great because I would go in and like there was a group of mall rats who were there every day.
Mm-hmm.
They'd go to school and then they'd go to the mall and they'd hang out there. And, you know, it was awesome, dude. It was awesome. I had an awesome, like, it was post high school. So it was post childhood, you know, early adulthood. It was awesome.
There you go.
But yeah, Black Friday. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of things on Black Friday, but I ain't never seen nobody trampled to death. And then have the waffle iron pulled right at their goddamn dead hands.
Yeah, but it used to be a spectacle, though. It used to be a spectacle.
Like, definitely a spectacle.
People would get in fights. Like, it was legit. Like,
right.
It's because they actually had sales. They
right.
Actually,
it would be the real life equivalent of when you try to get tickets at Ticketmaster for a hot show on the internet and you can't get in for like 30 minutes. It would be the real life equivalent of that feeling.
There it is. There it is. So this particular film starts off actually on Thanksgiving Day, and we have the owners of this particular company. Wasn't it the right? Isn't it right? Right stuff. Right Mart. Right.
That's what it is.
Yeah, the Right Mart. So we could say this is like an equivalent of like a Best Buy for the
yes,
area.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Like a local Best Buy, yeah.
Yeah. So like a locally owned Best Buy. Okay. Now, of course, they decide to open on Thanksgiving Day. Okay, which is something that's more of a newer thing that's been happening because, 15, 20 years ago, nobody actually opened on Thanksgiving Day. They might open like midnight.
Right.
So, which would be Friday, technically Black Friday, but they wouldn't open technically Thanksgiving Day. But this place they were probably waiting until midnight to open, but things went awry. And so we have the actual owner, and let me make sure I get his name correct. Rick Hoffman. Okay, so the Hoffmans actually own it, and he actually sent one of his. I'm assuming they're related. Isn't that right? I believe so. They might be related through his sister. I believe his sister was which was because godly, the husband who was actually the manager of the store. Yeah, he did. He wasn't in it for long.
Who was played by Gina Gershon.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
she was the sister of the owner, that Weasley-looking guy. Yeah, right. What a Weasley-looking. They got a perfect guy for that role. He was a Weasley fuck.
Yeah, he was like somebody. I think that he was in a what was he in that was a prominent show? Was it Suits? I don't think it was Suits. Was it Suits? Am I wrong there?
I didn't watch Suits, but I know him from somewhere.
Am I wrong there? Hold on. Let me see. Godly, but because every time you see that dude, you like he shafted somebody. You know what I'm saying? It was Suits. That's what he was in. He was in Suits. He was in Billions. Oh, shit, he was in Hostel.
Yes, he was in Hostel.
Did he cut somebody up? Didn't he?
I think he did. And then he got fucked
cut somebody up. Yeah, he cut somebody up. So Rick Hoffman's name on this is Thomas Wright. And so Gina Gershon, her name is Amanda Collins. And so her husband is Forrest.
If you didn't have a crush on her in the 80s and 90s, you were totally a fag.
Was she like that?
Oh, God, she was like that.
Gina Gershon?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Well, she looked like she probably had it back in the day. Hold on. What's she known for? Is she known for anything? Was she just a model?
She was an actress. She went in all kinds of stuff. I mean, not like she wasn't the best. You got some IMDb or something?
Okay. Oh, I got Showgirls.
She's worthy of some IMDb.
That. She's known for Showgirls.
Oh yeah, Showgirls.
Corky. She was Bound. Is it Bound? She was Corky and Bound. I don't know about that, but they said it's one of her prominent roles. Let's see what else. I ain't gonna lie to you, she ain't done a whole lot. As far as like, she was in Chucky.
Yes, she was in Chucky,
the TV series. So she was in that. But Gina Gershon, let me pull this up for people. People need to see who Gina Gershon is. Let's see, Gershon. But she's got that familiar look, and I'm trying to pinpoint it, but it's it's like eluding me for some reason. I don't know why, but it's just like you see her and you're like, oh yeah, I know her. It might be because it is. Is this
She
the
goes
reason
back
why?
to like her first
Fred
roles were
Agent?
in 81. She was in Pretty in Pink.
Okay, this is probably it right here.
Red Heat with Arnold.
Okay, yeah, I think I remember that. Is this? I think this might be. Because this is kind of how I remember.
Oh, she was
Like
in
how she
Out
used
for
to look.
Justice with fucking Steven Seagal.
Ah. Oh yeah, so she was in those action films. She
What
was
is
like
she,
the eye
like
candy.
70? Jesus
She
Christ.
she got to be. She was like the eye candy in the action films.
Yes,
That's what
she
she was.
was.
Yeah, the eye candy in the action films. So anyway, her husband's forced to go back to the store to open up because one of the employees is supposed to be there at night, a manager that night. He's not able to go. He had to call out sick. Okay. Now, at that point in time, we see the police officer come in, and let me make sure I get his name right. Well, we got so many names in this thing. Let's see here. Sheriff, Sheriff Eric Newland, and that's played by Patrick Dempsey. Um, and so the sheriff actually comes in, and he greets my man's wife. Okay, and they have a little chit chat, and I thought the chit chat right there at the beginning was a little sus. All right, they seemed a little touchy feely. It's like, oh yeah, there's a gal out there for you. I was like, huh, okay, you know what I'm saying? There's a gal out
Mm-hmm.
there for you, and I was like, there's something going on there. Okay, something's a little fishy there. But we fast forward, and of course we've got a crazed group of people standing in front of the Right Mart, ready to go in. And what are they ready to get, Corey?
Waffle iron?
A free waffle. That's what it looks like. I mean, it looks like they're just acting the fool over a waffle iron, okay? Now, we've got the Wright family, and we've got his daughter, which her name is Jessica, okay? And she's with her friends, which would be your regular high school jocks, all right?
Right.
That's the high school jocks. And I mean, it's picture perfect. You know what I'm
So
saying?
one thing I want to say right from the beginning is they did a really good job of making you not like anybody.
Like, oh yeah, you
like,
couldn't stand any of them. They were pompous. They were
Yep.
asses.
Yep. They got in the store and they were mocking people outside, and they were like, "We got the waffle iron," and shit like that. And it was like, "Oh, you're asking for trouble."
Yeah, and so at that point in time, because they get inside the store because she has access because her dad owns the store, she gets inside the store with her friends and her current boyfriend at the time. And of course, as they're in there mocking people, some things start to go awry. The people outside start to become crazed, and then they start to come up to the door and start beating on the door. At that point in time, she's like, "Oh my God, you got to let them in." And so the actual door cracks, the window breaks, it falls right on the black dude, and so they proceed to trample him. Dude, this is like a craze, like mayhem, like for about 3 minutes, just like shit flying everywhere. You had a guy the minute he walked in, the piece of glass stuck him in the neck, damn bleeding out, trying to get the waffle iron. When he's dead, the damn bitch, the woman comes and takes the waffle iron out of his cold dead hands. I mean, this was, I'm gonna be honest. Like this was like, I would say this would be the one different piece as far as a slasher film, because most of the time with slasher films, like you have two people making out and all of a sudden boyfriend dies and then the girl dies. You know what I'm saying? That's almost like a trope. So this was totally different. What do you think about that scene?
It was interesting because it was almost like they were making an analogy that even though there wasn't a psycho deranged killer murdering people there that night, ultimately there was kind of a psycho deranged lunatic behind their deaths that kind of let it happen by having it happen in the first place. The reasoning, a little bit of a stretch, but like I don't think
free waffle iron.
No, the reason that everyone was getting killed, like the reason the killer came back and was trying to kill everybody, right? Like so goddamn thin, like really
it was
unbelievable.
It was a touch thin.
as thin as Scream, like 6, where it's like the neighbor's second cousin's dog's fucking neighbor's
No, I
kid.
think at this point in time, it's like a demon that's possessing him. I think that's like the explanation now. Like the shit just kind of takes over you. Yeah, I'm ready to stab some people with the knife and where the ghost face. It's like, okay. I never got into the Scream stuff. I watched the first one. I was like, I think I'm good.
I thought they were really good through the third one, and then the fourth one was really off the rails. And then by like 6 or 7, I don't even remember what are they up to? Scream 9? Who the hell knows?
Doesn't it go off the rails? I mean, eventually, if you keep making them.
Yeah, it's like, you didn't even know. You didn't even notice me, but I was in your class, and my uncle, he was married to your fucking cousin and his neighbor, and like, therefore, I'm taking revenge for all of them. What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, bitch?
It's like, man, we all right now. We getting way out there now. That's all I'm saying. So during this skirmish for free waffle irons and maybe deals, I don't know if anybody bought anything. I think folks just stole stuff. I don't think anybody bought anything.
It turned into one big looting exercise.
Yeah, but anyway, you had a few culprits here. So you had the security guard, and these people are going to come back, are going to be key because later on they're the one, some of the victims. You had the security guard who, when the crowd got enraged, he just said, "Fuck it, I don't get paid enough," and he bounced. Okay. You had the black guy, which he ends up dying there. He gets trampled to death. All right. You have the sister of Thomas Wright. She gets her face smashed in by a buggy and gets her scalp ripped off.
Oh, that was a bit much, man. Like, she pushed that card away and it just like pulled that whole chunk of. I was like, ugh.
Oh man! Oh, when my girlfriend seen that, she was like, "Oh my god, what you got us watching?" I was like, "I told you it was going to be a slasher film. It's got to do something to shock. It's got to have shock value." Okay, so you got that. You've got the there's a older lady, probably middle-aged lady outside who's enraged, who takes the waffle iron out of the cold dead hands. My man is bleeding out because his neck got punctured by the glass. You've got the jock. Okay. There was another jock outside from another school who kind of led the crowd from outside, and then so that's all the key players there, and then of course you've got the band of friends, which is Jessica. She's got her. I don't know. We don't really care about the names of the other people because they're really irrelevant. They're just there as like fodder, like death fodder.
She had like one boyfriend.
Yeah, she had her boyfriend at the time who was like a star pitcher.
And then he disappears, and then like fast forward, and she's dating the nerd that they were making fun of.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
yep, that's the way it was. And then she had another one. I think she had 2 friends, if I'm correct. It was the black guy. Black guy was dating somebody. Wasn't the other white guy dating somebody too? If I'm correct.
Oh God, I don't remember.
If I'm correct. Anyway, there was like 5 of them.
If they were, they got killed.
Yeah, they got killed early. yeah. Folks got taken out early. Okay, so we see that. You get that big spectacle right at the beginning, and then we fast forward a year later. Isn't that the way it usually is?
Yes.
It takes you a little bit of time to think of your plan. Okay, how am I going to do this? All right, it's coming up on Thanksgiving. Okay, and this particular killer takes the identity of John Carver. All right, and if I'm correct, what John Carver, Plymouth, and there's something with that. There's something behind that, isn't it?
Bro, I don't know. That's like some white people history, and I don't know nothing about it. Like,
Come on, man. John Carver, Plymouth. Isn't that right? John Carver's house.
I think I think they're getting a little desperate to find a fucking villain for a horror flick. They could have done better than John. Because John who? Really? I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Some pilgrim dude with a hat. Whatever. I have no fucking idea. I never heard of this guy.
He's the first governor of Plymouth, man. All right, he was one of the pilgrims who braved the Mayflower voyage in 1620. Oh, I like that. Did
they burn witches?
Writing the Mayflower Compact. No, he died at 45. You see, back when you used to die at a good age, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this man.
Like, oh, I accomplished something.
Yes, it's time to cash out. 45,
Like,
45
what do
be
you die
over,
of at
but
45?
oh, back then it was a stump in your toe. Shit. Boy, you stump your damn big toe, you did. You know what I'm saying? I mean, straight up.
It's really true.
Oh, but it was bad, but you know what I'm saying? Bad water. I mean,
And I think murder rate was a lot higher. I think back then, if people didn't like you, they just shiv you and like fucking keep going.
yeah,
And like it was like
dump you.
They had a murder solve rate of like 2%.
Yeah, and like what happened here? I was like, I don't know. He said he was going on a voyage. We did have a voyage to come here. He said he was going back. He never returned. Corey, how many folks you think that story came up with? Where do you think he went? Oh, he said he was going to go get some supplies, and he never returned.
Oh, he went back home to England.
Yeah, it ain't like I'm gonna call him. I ain't gonna FaceTime him.
Hey, ain't that like your fourth friend who went back to England?
All your friends keep going back to England. Maybe we need to investigate here. Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier to get away with killing people back then.
No doubt. Okay, they keep saying that. Oh man, there's a bunch of unsolved murders now. I'm like, now? I'm like, bro, there's cameras everywhere, man. Let's talk about that. Hell, 50 years ago, you could get away with some shit.
They solve shit now that these days I can't believe. They show some hit and run on fucking TV with no license plate. They can't identify the cars. It's a blur in the video. Next thing you know, they got like 4 people arrested and they cracked open some prostitution ring. You're like, it's a fucking Sherlock Holmes on the case.
Yeah. It's like you look around, you're like, how'd y'all find it? And all the footage is blurry. All of it. I guess they got some people enhancing it. Every time it'd be Crime Stoppers. They'd be like, hey, if you know the location of this gentleman, I'm like, I don't see nothing but a blur, man. It's like I'm looking at Bigfoot. You know what I'm saying? I said, I don't know if that's a human or Bigfoot. They both got the same picture. I'm not sure. So anyway, the killer takes the identity of John Carver. All right, the first governor of Plymouth. Obviously, in this town, they're having a parade. It looks like the John Carver mask is something that's going to be prominent as far as multiple people wearing it. Now,
it's fucking everywhere. Everybody got that thing. It's like in Scream when everyone got that mask.
Yeah, I know. It's like everybody got one on. I mean, even folks that ain't stabbing nobody. It's like, Corey, I've got one beef. Okay, I've got one beef with this particular killer. All right, I see him on the poster. You see in the trailer a lot of axe action. Okay, him wielding the axe. I don't think he killed anybody with an axe.
John Carver, you mean?
Yeah.
The original?
No, the one in this movie, the killer. He didn't kill anybody with an axe.
He tried. It was not for a lack of trying.
I mean, look, hey guys, hold on. Let me pull this up, okay? I got to pull it up.
We might want to watch it. We might want to pull the trailer up.
No, I don't want to pull the damn trailer up. I got it up. Maybe I don't want to pull it up. But I just want y'all to see this. I mean, my man's axe is bloody. Man, he ain't killed nobody with that axe.
That's dried blood. Who knows how it got there? Somebody could have killed a pig.
So you telling me this is more after the fact?
I'm just speculating.
Man got speculation. So let's talk about some of his kills.
Consider me on trial in Fulton County. I'm just speculating.
Okay, so let's talk about some of his kills. All right, so we've got the lady who works at the diner, who was the one who ripped the waffle iron from my man's cold dead fingers, and her kill was actually by a dumpster. Now I know what y'all are thinking. It's like by a dumpster. It's like, yes, she was trying to run away from the killer, who was John Carver, and she tried to run into the dumpster, which I'm not sure what she was going to do once she got the dumpster, but the dumpster chopped her in half. Okay, because John Carver ran into the dumpster with a vehicle. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate that particular vehicle?
I don't know, because I felt it kind of sudden, like she was whole, and then all of a sudden, poof, she was ripped in half. I was quite taken aback by it. I'm still quite puzzled by it. I'd like to watch that scene again.
Yeah, I didn't know. Well, it had some pretty good height on it, but I didn't know that one of those things would just chop you right in half. I mean, it chopped her clean in half, bud. Guts hanging out.
Yes.
And he proceeds to post her up at the right mark the next day for everybody to see. All right. Now I don't know if he's got some stuff to keep her from decomposition, but she stayed together pretty well as far as what he had there. So that's our first kill. Okay, that's kill number 1. Kill number 2. It would be into the chubby guy. Chubby guy was kill number 2, right? Or was he kill number 3?
Oh, I don't recall.
Okay.
Between the first and the last, it's just a blur of kills.
Yeah, it's kind of just blur of kills. And at this point in time, while he's doing the killing, he is actually sending via social media the original quartet. Is that right? Quintet? 5 people, original 5 youngsters.
Yes.
Footage of, maybe not footage of the kills, but showing them like a dinner table, like y'all are gonna have seats at the dinner table, and then it shows the woman's head. I think the other half of her body. And so they're getting these messages the entire time. At that point in time, when they were getting the messages, Corey, and we see the first couple kills, which the fat guy was the second one, who at that point in time did you think the killer was?
Oh, I didn't have a fucking clue, because I knew no matter what, they were going to do a double, triple whammy on us. So it was like pointless. And, like, here's the thing. I did not even rule out the fact that it could have been some big fat guy, even though it was a super skinny guy in a damn costume. You never know. It's like Scooby-Doo. You pull off the hood, and it's like, what? So you never know with these guys. They can just they can just play it off as, a campy horror movie. So, and they would be right. So.
Right. Well, I was thinking. So, when me and my girlfriend were sitting there watching this, we were like, okay, all right. I'm like, hey, who you think the killer is? She's like, I don't know. I was like, well, we got the old boyfriend, because the old boyfriend shows up. The old boyfriend of Jessica.
Right.
He shows back up because during the skirmish, his hand gets crushed and he's no longer able to pitch, and so I guess he becomes depressed and just, I'm gonna move away because I'm a metrosexual or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm weak. Because I'm Gen Z, so I got to get up and I got to bounce. I'm sorry, Gen Z. There's at least 45% of y'all that's probably all right. But he shows back up. You've got the current boyfriend, which was the one that all the jocks and everything were making fun of previously. All right. You've got the police officer. You've even got, could you suspect potentially the owner, Mr. Wright? You didn't know if it was a woman or not, so you were unsure there. But it had narrowed me down to a few people. And when I was looking at this, I was like, okay, so I'm thinking either the old boyfriend, the new boyfriend. I didn't want to go the husband just because the size.
Here's the thing. Issue. You have a couple things you have to take into consideration. Number one, it has to have somewhat of a twist element to it. Number two, it has to be a person on the inner circle or someone who is trusted.
That's what you would have seen.
And that should narrow it down also.
Mm-hmm. And then what I did sprinkle in, I was like, well, potentially it's the sheriff. And she was like, you think could be sheriff? I said, there's potential. I was like, what I was trying to do, I was trying to say, okay.
But see, you have the conflict on, but see, now the sheriff or the law enforcement guy should never, even though it's obvious, should never be the jump to guy, because it should be assumed that it's in his nature to be the good guy who's fighting on the side of saving people, and the idea of murdering people in these outlandish ways would be like completely egregious to them and their
Well,
behavior. So it shouldn't. I don't think it should ever be just jumped to right away.
okay, all right. Well, that's fair enough. But I was also trying to go according to the size of a particular person, which kind of automatically ruled out the husband of Amanda Collins on this one, which is Thomas Wright's sister. It just immediately ruled that out because I was like, well, the killer doesn't have a gut, so that's obviously not, not him. So, and I think that's kind of, I think that's an area where they kind of messed up a little bit with the size of the particular person. Like you said, could it be like Scooby Doo?
So in like a Scream type antagonist, you have a flowing robe that could hide someone's chunk.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, they painted themselves in a corner because old fucking cracker homeboy was fucking in a skinny ass suit. Like he was fucking, I thought it was goddamn Elijah Wood. I'm like, is this a Hobbit? What's going on here?
You said you thought it was a Hobbit. Yeah, so it kind of narrowed it down for me. I was like, well, it can't be but a few people. But then it's like you could have missed something earlier on.
See, I always assume it could be a woman because
a
woman will always be a cunt and stab you in the back. I mean, come on. So
oh man, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So
no one ever wants to think that it's a woman, right? The bad guy, no one ever wants to assume that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they do, when it is a woman, they want it to be like some ugly ass lesbian or something, right? Like fucking Eileen Wuornos, right?
Yeah.
So then when it's like some cute chick, like it turned out to be in what was that one with the cute chick with the blue-eyed chick from the Maybelline commercials? What the fuck was that movie called? It wasn't I Know What You Did Last Summer. It was this is gonna bother me. But anyway, she was super cute in that one. So it was like, it throws you for a twist.
Damn, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and I can't think of it. Man, the I Know What You Did Last Summer is like a iconic movie. Like that's like one of those movies, like
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Just the name of it. Yeah, just the name of it. Like it doesn't leave your mind.
It had Jack Black's. Well, one of Jack Black's first on-screen performances that he went uncredited for. He was the dreadlock dude smoking bongs who gets killed.
Well, that's all right.
Or that might have been in part 2. That might have been in part 2. But it was one of those.
Okay. All right. So we got that. So we got the fat guy. He gets stabbed in the gut, and then he gets his head cut off. That was the security guard who said, "To hell with this." So he kind of blamed him for being a pussy. So we got that. We've got the one jock who was outside the store who caused the initial ruckus. He gets his head completely snapped all the way around. I was like, can you actually do that? Is that actually physically possible?
I think you got to be like Dave Bautista, kind of big to snap someone's head around like that.
That's what I was thinking.
You got to be like, superhuman strength.
Yeah. And then the girlfriend of the jock, she gets stabbed through the trampoline, which I thought she was dead, but my man was keeping her alive in the refrigerator. I'm not sure how that happened. Because I thought for sure she got stabbed like through the gut and all that, but somehow he was keeping her alive in the refrigerator. You see that later on.
That film we were just talking about was Urban Legend.
Yep, Urban Legend. There it is. Damn, that's a classic one too. What's that from the early 2000s?
Yes, early 2000s.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, so we've got all those deaths right there. This entire time, Jessica and her team of look, they're not very smart. Okay, let's just say that. Okay, they're not very smart, but they're trying to figure out who's doing the killing. And at this point in time, the black guy, because you got to have a token black guy, and they did not kill the black guy first. Matter of fact, they didn't kill the black guy at all. It's a new day, okay? Corey, just to let you know, this is a new day. I mean, black folks surviving in horror movies. This is a new day. All right. Well, we did have Busta Rhymes surviving the Halloween H2O. I forgot
Wasn't
about
there
that.
a movie recently? Wasn't there like a black comedy recently
Yeah,
that was about surviving horror movies?
it might have been. Damn, I was about to say Blackish, but it's not it. But yeah, there was. It was last summer when it came out. If I'm correct, I can't remember the name of it, but I was like, maybe I'll watch that whenever it comes out on these streaming services. But yeah, so we got the black guy, and the black guy's dating a white chick who's like, dad's like Russian. It's almost like he was like part of the mafia. Like he rolls up, come with me, we're moving to Florida. It's like, and what's bad about that is my man's like, yeah, I got security at our house. He had some fat white cop. He had some fat. This dude looked like he looked like he was about 65, and then ate 10 too many donuts. I was like, this your security dog? I mean, really? Okay. So she gets thrown on a table saw and her guts fall out.
That was wild.
That was pretty wild death right
That was
there.
very Hostel-esque.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty wild death.
Because at first she just fell on that table, and I'm like, oh, it's just a couple fingers, no big deal. And it ended up not just being a couple fingers. It ended up like slicing her up and pulling her guts, and she gets off it, and her guts rip out, and it was like, whoa, that was more than I thought was going to happen.
That's not what I was expecting to happen.
There was a lot of that. There was a whole lot of that. He did a good job with surprising you with the deaths, right? Even though you're expecting them to be wild and crazy, like they did catch you off guard for sure.
Yeah. They caught you off guard a little bit. So they devised this plan. Okay, so hey, we're gonna catch him. We're gonna catch him at the parade. Okay, we're gonna make it seem like the the storage facility is empty, and when he comes and they're expecting it's a man. When they come and try to take one of y'all, try to kill one of y'all, we'll be there to save the day. Okay, and that didn't work out because he's in a clown costume and he manages to tranquilize him. You're like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I wasn't expecting that. Now, at that point in time, there was a couple of wild deaths during that parade because my man throws some flashbangs, and when they slam on the brakes and the damn the boat goes through my man's eye socket. I know you remember that one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the end of the boat. I mean, it's just poking right at his eye. I said, "Woo!"
And it's like all dripping and stuff, and it's like the dripping never stopped. It was like, what is going on?
Yeah, I mean, but it's some pretty wild stuff. It kind of ramps up. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like there's a couple, like there's like a quiet moment, and then there's a death, and then you got a quiet moment. Oh, who do you know who it is? What are we gonna do? And then there's a death. So that's kind of the way. That's the pacing of this movie. And then you have the end where you kind of just have action all the way into the final point. So he manages to capture everybody. Jessica, her black friend, the other white friend, and his girlfriend, and Thomas Wright and his wife. So he manages to get all of them. Okay, tranquilize them, drive off with him, and then he sits them around the dinner table. And at this dinner table, okay, we've got remains of people that he has already killed. All right, now we have that moment where the wife, it looks like he's preparing her to be cooked. All right, like preparing her to be cooked. Now she puts up a valiant effort. All right, she puts up a valiant effort. But it's all for naught because she gets fried alive.
Yeah,
totally. She gets cooked, and she's served on the table as like she's a turkey.
Reminded me like of how like people deep fry that turkey, right? Like I still never had that. You had the deep fried turkey yet? I still ain't had no deep fried turkey. I hear it's fucking like. I hear it's awesome.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you though. I mean, my mom cooks her turkey, and so it's like my mom can cook. Like she could fucking burn. I mean, it's just like it's like I don't need no deep fried turkey. It's my mom's turkey. Shit, I be trying to take a whole turkey back. Hell, this past Thanksgiving, my dad was like, hey, they're gonna want some extra food. Hell, my mom had like a 30-pound turkey, and then cooked the turkey breast, and then cooked the 15-pound ham. I'm like, There's 4 of us, you know. There's like 4 of us. That's how many's here. You know what I'm saying? Had 5 sides, 5 pies. I'm like, hey, I appreciate this because I'm gonna eat good for a week. But and 4 of us. It's just like, you know, she was like, oh, your sister called up and said that I never cook a ham. I said, so you decided to get the biggest ham you can find? Hey, but it was all good. It was all good. So the wife gets served up like she's Thanksgiving dinner turkey. Okay, that's what she is. And then we have the moment that
I did get kind of grossed out when he starts slicing her leg.
Yeah,
I was grossed out. I was like, no, thought it was gnarly.
Put it right on the husband's plate.
Oh,
so yeah, don't you want to eat that, you piece of shit? You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of fitting for the wife because she was the one who gave the orders for Thomas Wright to open up White Mart on Thanksgiving. She was the one that was giving those orders.
So let's go back to our reasonings here.
Mm-hmm.
Every single person who's kidnapped and now sitting around the table had a very specific reason why they were at the table. And you wagged a finger at him. You did this. And if it wasn't for you, he wouldn't have driven the car over here and then done this. And that wouldn't have triggered this. And that wouldn't have triggered this. So it's all your fault. Like, it's that kind of thing. It's like a daisy chain of bullshit. Like reasoning on all of them. It was hilarious. The only one I could see it being a legit complaint with is the scumbag owner who opened the store on Thanksgiving in the first place, and that's it. Like, forgive everybody else.
Man, so just get the scumbag owner and then call it a day. You know what I'm saying?
And I want to know, like, dude's wife died in the fucking store a year previous. Did he have her just chilling on ice? Like, what was he doing with her? Did he slow cook her for a whole fucking year? How was she not rancid? What was up with that?
Oh, no. Wrong wife.
No. Are you sure?
You thinking no? Yeah, you thinking wrong. Okay, so Thomas Wright is the owner of Wright Mart.
Correct.
And that's the wife that gets cooked.
The other wife, the one whose fucking shit got ripped off the head.
No. Mm-mm. No, not the same one.
No, not the same one.
No, she died.
So that's not who they're eating.
Yeah, no, that's not who they're eating.
So now I don't know who they're eating.
Okay, yeah. So the one that they're eating is actually Thomas Wright's wife. Okay, I guess it would be a second marriage per se on this, but that's the actual wife because when they have her laying on the table and he's seizing her and all that shit, and she wakes up and she tries to get away, but the wife of the manager of the store, like he's not a part of the movie except for at the beginning.
Right.
Like that's it. Like the big burly guy. Like you see him one other time in the movie, but his wife actually dies because her brains get splattered out there on the floor because somebody ran her over with a damn shopping cart. I guess they were going about 45 miles an hour when they hit her. Did that, ripped her scalp open and everything. So who you actually see up there is Thomas Wright, who was the owner of Wright Mart, his wife, and you find out that she's the one who's been telling him to open up, and she gets pissed off, and he's like, "No, this year I'm closing down." It's like, what the fuck you mean you closing down? And she's all about money and greed. So when she gets cooked, you kind of like, I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? She gets cooked, you're like, okay, all right, we'll take that. Now, the other white guy who's one of the jocks, who was Jessica's friend, he gets brutally murdered by getting his brain smashed in with a meat tenderizer.
That was pretty
I was not expecting that.
It was
and he gets put on social media, and so that harkens back to where when he was inside and he was video recording, everybody getting fucked up, people getting killed and shit. He's video recording it, and you actually see in this where that particular footage keeps getting put on the internet, and they're like, "Man, I took all that stuff down." I'm like, "Man, once you put it up, the internet's forever." You know what I'm saying? You might as well leave it up. Don't go and try to delete stuff. The only people that can delete stuff permanently is the government. Okay, I mean that's it. All right. they could just they can memory hold that shit. It's like, man, this shit never happened. I bet you can't find nothing about it. Like, I'll be damned. Watch this, and you're like, oh shit, I can't. And then you start doubting yourself. You know what I'm saying? You start doubting yourself. So I was expecting the friends to kind of get. I was like, okay, the friends are gonna get out of this, and then he gets his head smashed, and I was like, oh, maybe not all the friends are gonna get out of this one. I said, I think he's dead. I mean, his whole head got smashed in. Now, we had the armorer who had gave Jessica his ring earlier on and said, this ring kept my dad alive. And so happened that ring had a knife in it, had a small blade. She moved a little bit, it popped open. She was able to cut herself out. She cut the black guy out. And that's where we have a little bit of tussle. Black gentleman gets hit by the axe. I think he gets hit on the arm. And we have a chase that ensues. Okay? Chase that ensues. Now she gets back to the actual building where they had all the parade stuff at. And at that point in time, she sees her ex-boyfriend walking away with a John Carver mask on. So that makes her think, hey, it was the ex-boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Because she sees the cop laying out there, who is, golly, what's his name? Eric Newland. She see him laying out there in front of the sheriff's car. She picks him up. He's like, yeah, he came up, he ambushed me. Let's go in there. And she sees, oh shit, it's my ex-boyfriend. He must be mad because I'm dating somebody. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that. And so they end up coming about, and the cops come. They check the facility. They can't find her ex-boyfriend. And all of them leave. They were like, okay, we know who it is. This is so we'll be able to find him. All right. And then at that point in time, she remembered something that Eric told her early on, that the small details is what gets you caught. And she remembers back, I was running through the field and they had those little dandelions. And she sees some of it on his shoe. Come to find out, it was the cop the whole time. Corey, how do you feel about that?
It is what it is. No matter who they would have said, we've seen enough of these movies that there's no person they could have put the blame on, unless it would have been one of those like milkman delivered the milk one time in that one scene 10 minutes into the movie and you don't see him again and then it's him, right? Unless it's one of those, right. This is really kind of anticlimactic no matter who it is. So
yeah, and so she goes back and she's like thinks back. It's like, oh yeah, your information is vital for us to catch everybody. It's like stuff he said in the past, and you actually find out. Okay, here is his motive. All right, when the woman's up there and saying, there's a lucky lady waiting on you, it was her. She was having an affair with him.
Mm-hmm.
That was the premise.
Mm-hmm.
But did you catch what I seen up there? Did you catch when he had the board up? When it was a quick glimpse of it. He had his board up, and he's getting pissed for the past year. It had like a baby up there. Like, what do you call those things when they take the scan of the baby?
Oh, like
in your belly.
Yes, like a ultrasound.
Yeah. I was like, that bitch is old. Ain't no way in hell she was pregnant with his baby.
It's 2024. She can identify as pregnant.
Oh no! You know what it is, right? It's that bastardizing shit that I'm firmly against. Freezing eggs, surrogates, all this nonsense. That's what it was. Freezing of the eggs. Hell, Larsa Pippen says she froze her eggs for Marcus Jordan just in case he wants to kill. I'm like, bitch, you 49. What you talking about? Froze your eggs? What eggs? I'm like, man, we need to stop.
Yes, I agree.
We need to stop across the board, all right? Once it's aged out, let it age out.
In regards to the motivations of the killer in this, I was underwhelmed. Didn't really.
Yeah, but it's not what you thought, though.
No,
it's not. So okay. So when I seen he was the killer, I was like, why the fuck is he the killer? And then they had to give you a flashback because you wouldn't have got any motivation from anything because you didn't know that he was over here, participating in infidelity.
Yes, that is correct. So I go into a movie like this with a certain expectation. So I can't say that the level of disappointment I experienced shattered my level of expectation in the first place. Therefore, wasn't much of a detriment to my enjoyment of the film. But it is what it is. And the whole reason we're watching this is because there's, of course, Thanksgiving 2 is in the works.
Stop. I know it is. I know it kind of has to be, because they're like, nobody could have survived that fire. I'm like, oh, God. The old trope, we didn't find the body. That type of fire melts everything.
Here's the thing.
I'm like,
this is a formula film in every way, shape, and form, even economically. Right? Like, this is a movie. What's the budget? I want to know the budget. Please don't tell me this thing was more than, like, I want to say 20 million, but please tell me it wasn't more than like 40 million.
15 million.
15.
Yep.
Oh,
see,
I'm
box
proud
office
of him.
They made 40. The box office they made 46.5 million.
Does that sound like a winner? That sounds like, I can do math. That sounds like a winner to me. So you can put these out all day long for $15-20 million, bring in 100 mil, and fucking the story, dude. It'll be like 6 generations from now. You know, I had to avenge my mother's brother's cousin.
For Thanksgiving. It'd be his kinfolk. It'd be all his kinfolk doing the killing.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, they kind of set it up. Now, they didn't give you anything like post-movie to make you think there was going to be another one, but right at the end when they blow up the canister and it's like, oh, yeah, that should have melted everything. Nothing survives that. I'm like, that jig survived. He gone. I'm like, damn. I know they didn't just do that to me. I was like, man, hey, look, in these movies, guys, all right, and I know that I'm just talking hypothetically, but in real life, if you're getting chased by some serial killer, make sure they're dead. You know what I'm saying? I need full confirmation. If you can take the whole head off, that's usually full confirmation.
Or at least cut off their feet so they can't chase you. You know, if they're just crawling after you, that's fine. But watch, it'll be like one of those situations where they're crawling after you, and for some reason, like just like some blonde chick in a horror movie looking back over your shoulder, you trip over stuff, and then you break your ankle, and then you crawling, and then they crawling faster than you, and then you're like, fuck.
Oh man, isn't that terrible?
So yeah, maybe kill him.
Don't somebody usually always fall? I don't think anybody fell in this movie.
Don't recall.
I don't think anybody fell. He just kind of snuck up on them. Nobody fell, though. That trope went, running through the field. I'm getting away, boom, and then, fall out. And then turn to look back, and they're not there, and they're like, where'd he go? And you stand up, and you turn around.
Well, it was always funny because, like, Jason in Friday the 13th, that motherfucker was slow as shit. He walked slow as shit, and everybody ran from him, but he was always right behind them. What's up with that?
They got Hey, but he be fast walking. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's doing. I know you've seen those people. I mean, they be getting it. You're like, damn, boy, I can't even run that fast. I mean, very fast. So that he took those courses. Dude, they got courses on that stuff.
They gotta.
They probably got a whole thing, like a fast walking thing, where you like get together. It's like, hey guys, we're gonna meet up on Saturday at 5:30 a.m. and we're going to fast walk for 80 miles. It's like, dude, 80 miles? I mean, people be doing crazy stuff. Like, I got up in the morning, I jogged 10 miles. I'm like, wow. This to like get the cardio you need to, like, if you're trying to cut back weight, like, you ain't got to run 8 miles, right? Like, you do sprints. I'm just letting people know that.
Yeah, so, like, I like to go running. And I like to go running because I like to make sure that my heart still beats. And
you're not sure it's beating.
I gotta make sure. I gotta push it to its limits to make sure it ain't just gonna stop, right? So that's why I like it.
Okay.
So the older I get, the more I don't want to like. I get off the couch and everything snap, crackle, pop. Anyway, I don't fucking need to like, I try to keep myself all moving around and stuff, and you gotta do that shit because you get old. And how old are you? You a young little whippersnapper.
I'm 37.
No, you fucking you're like a baby.
He's great. Don't say I'm no baby. Look at the things. Well, they just popping up all over the place. Hell, but when I go to the gym, I mean, the boys in there call me OG and
It's funny because
they call me.
I went to this punk rock show at this small club and I bumped into this couple who were like sophisticated there, but the guy was like rocking out to the punk rock, and it was funny because she was all fucking sophisticated and stuff like that, like big time, like she works for the city board of the local fucking neighboring town, and she said that to me. She goes, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm 47." She goes, "Oh, you're just a baby," and she ran her hand down my face like that. I was like,
I'm not a baby. 46. John Carver died at 45. Okay, the ripe old age, right?
With like 6 kids and 20 grandkids, and he built 6 houses with his bare hands. Milked the cows at 4 a.m.
Yeah, he got more accomplished at 45 than fucking 3 of us combined. You know what I'm saying? Our entire lives.
Wrote his will on a clay tablet.
Yeah, and I mean, and you know why, right? It's because they ain't have no other choice. I tell people right now, the reason people feel like there's more to life than working is because there's too much entertainment. All right, and there really ain't. Like, working and trying to stay alive. That's like it. That's the point of life, and reproducing. All right. So the reason you feel like there's more to life than that is because we got too much bullshit.
Yeah, you got too much time on your hands.
Entertainment. Yeah, I mean that's it. That's why you feel like there's got to be something more than life. There's not. All right. So I wouldn't worry about it. Just keep on saying. Let's get the drum roll. Oh.
6.5 cubes.
Ooh.
I couldn't live with myself if I gave it a 7 because we've given much better films 7s. So it had to be under, but it wasn't bad enough. A 6 indicates it was somewhat poor. So a 6.2. 6.2, you can't give it a 6.2. That's not on the scale.
I give it a 0.2.
You got to know you can do a 0.25. That's round number.
2.5, okay. 6.25. Oh, what? Let's see what they got on IMDb. Let's see what they got.
I bet it got like 30%. 30 and 54.
6.3, so we're right in there.
Oh wow.
We're right in there. Mine and yours together would be 6.3. There it is. There it is, guys. So, hey, status quo there. Thanksgiving.
But it was
not
fun.
A bad watch.
It was fun watching it. It was fun watching it.
Yeah, not a bad watch. It's not going to take up a whole lot of your time. Hour and 46 minutes. So less than 2 hours, you can get this thing knocked out. You won't feel like you've wasted your life like some of the other stuff we've watched. All right. Actually, the majority of the other stuff we've watched. Right here. It's just we've been doing this shit. So yeah, go check it out. It is currently on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, then you can watch that, or however you get your media. Okay, we're not going to speak about those other ways, but but guys, be on the lookout. Next week, we're going to be bringing to you Doom, which is the most hyped movie maybe over the past 20 years?
I'd say it is
30 years.
It's the
40?
return of the king of the new century.
Okay.
It shall not be topped.
Okay. Corey's watched it. I'm going to watch it tomorrow, which will be Saturday. I'm going to watch it tomorrow. So we're going to be bringing that to y'all next week. If you haven't watched Doom 1, check that out. Corey is our resident Doom expert. So we're going to be getting a whole lot of insight from him on that one. So I'm going to be very interested to pick his brain as far as what I see here. If I'm correct, you've read all the books, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Including the prequel books by the Son. The only books I haven't read is Dune 7, which is really 2 books that have only been out for about 10 years that were written by the Son, because Frank Herbert wrote 6 books intending to write a 7th. He died before the 7th came out.
Oh, okay.
So I have to read that 7th book, which his son actually ended up writing. And his son wrote all the prequel books, and I read all those, and they were fantastic. They laid an amazing foundation for what we're seeing now, like thousands of years before and stuff. So, yeah, we'll talk about it when we do the Dune show. It'll be a long show because I'm going to fucking ramble.
Yeah, it's a long show. So, hey, we're gonna the powerful one be featured in that show because he's gonna be the experte on that because he reads and I don't. So, from your boy XQ420, the powerful one, Corey Hughes, go check out Thanksgiving. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next Showtime with Q. Peace out.